To keep yourself updated, subscribe to Indigolearn and click the bell icon and download our app OneFin to start learning on the go.
Let's now understand the concept of a small company. So when we talk about a small company, let's now understand what a small company is. As per Section 2, Clause 85 of the Companies Act 2013, a small company is a company other than public company. Which means a public company can never be termed as a small company. In no situation, even if the public company satisfies the threshold limit, which we'll understand in some time now, the public company can never ever be termed as a small company. So a small company is a company which is other than a public company, which means a public company cannot become or cannot be termed as a small company. So how do we identify when a company is a small company? Let's understand. There are two threshold limits which have been prescribed. One is with respect to the paid up capital. And the other limit is with respect to the turnover. So a small company, a company is said to be a small company when it is a company other than a public company and whose paid up share capital does not exceed rupees 4 crore. Whose paid up share capital does not exceed 4 crore. Does not exceed 4 crore means what? It should either be less than 4 crore or equal to 4 crore. So if the paid up share capital of any company is less than or equal to 4 crore, then yes, it satisfies the first threshold limit with respect to the paid up share capital. The second threshold limit is with respect to the turnover. And the threshold limit of turnover is rupees 40 crores. Again, does not exceed where the turnover does not exceed 40 crore. Which means it is less than or equal to 40 crore rupees. So two limits to be satisfied and both these limits have to be cumulatively satisfied. There's a word and in between them, which means both the paid up share capital and the turnover should be within the limits and only then we can term a company as a small company. If any one of the limit is not complied with, then no, a company cannot be categorized as a small company. So what is a small company? A company is a small company when its paid up share capital does not exceed 4 crore rupees and its turnover does not exceed 40 crore rupees. And apart from it, it is a company other than a public company, which means a public company can in no case be termed as a small company. And both these limits of paid up share capital and turnover should be cumulatively satisfied. Say if in a situation the paid up share capital is within the limit but the turnover is exceeding 40 crores, then in that situation, no, the company cannot be termed as a small company even if the paid up share capital is within the limit of 4 crore rupees. And apart from it, which year's paid up share capital and which year's turnover are we going to look at? So when we talk about paid up share capital will be of the current financial year. We'll have to look at the paid up share capital of the current financial year. However, when we talk about the turnover, current financial year's turnover cannot be ascertained. So we'll have to look at the turnover of the immediately preceding financial year. So two threshold limits, paid up share capital should not exceed 4 crore and turnover should not exceed 40 crore. Paid up share capital, current financial year's paid up share capital will have to be looked at, and for the turnover, we'll have to look at the turnover of the immediately preceding financial year. So this is what a small company means. A small company is a company other than a public company. So company other than public company whose paid up share capital does not exceed 4 crore rupees and whose turnover does not exceed 40 crore rupees. So this is what a small company means. Now there are certain exceptions to the definition of small company. Let's have a look at them. So exceptions here basically mean that there are certain categories of company which cannot be categorized as small company, or where the definition of small company will not apply. Now, which are those companies? The first one is a holding company or a subsidiary company. So a holding company or a subsidiary company cannot be categorized as a small company. The definition of small company does not apply to any holding company or a subsidiary company. Second is a Section 8 company. So which means a Section 8 company cannot be termed as a small company in any situation. And the third is any company which is incorporated under any special act. So these are the three exceptions to the definition of a small company. The definition of small company does not apply to a holding company or a subsidiary company, a Section 8 company, and a company which has been incorporated under a special act. So with this, we've now understood what a small company is. Let's now have a look at a few examples and understand it even more clearly. So here we have a few situations in front of us. Let's have a look at each situation and answer them. So the first company is Ask Private Limited. So the first condition which we look at when we determine whether a company is a small company or not is that it should not be a public company. So this is private limited, which means this is a private company. So the first condition is satisfied. Moving on to the second condition. The second condition is with respect to the paid up share capital, it should not exceed 4 crore. So here the paid up share capital is 3 crore, which is well within the limit of 4 crore. So this limit is also satisfied. The third condition is with respect to turnover. Turnover should not exceed 40 crore rupees. The turnover here is 20 crore, which means it is again well within the limit. So all the three conditions are satisfied here. So yes, Ask Private Limited is a small company. Moving on to the next situation. Bell Limited. So here, this term limited, as soon as we look at the name of the company, we understand that this company is a public company. And when a company is a public company, the first condition itself is not satisfied. What is the first condition? Other than a public company. A small company is a company other than a public company. And since Bell Limited is a public company, it cannot be termed a small company, even if the paid up share capital and the turnover are well within the limit. So here in the situation, the paid up share capital and the turnover are within the limits, but still the company cannot be categorized as a small company because it is a public company. Moving on, XYZ Private Limited. So first condition satisfied. Second one is it should not exceed 4 crore. So here the paid up share capital is 4 crore. So not exceeding 4 crore means it should either be less than 4 crore or equal to 4 crore. So this is exactly equal to 4 crore, which means the first condition is satisfied. Now, talking about the turnover limit is 40 crore. However, here the turnover is 41 crore, which means the second limit is not satisfied here. And both the threshold limits have to be cumulatively satisfied. Since both the threshold limits are not being satisfied, there's only one threshold limit which is satisfied here. XYZ Private Limited cannot be categorized as a small company. The next is Star Private Limited. So again, first condition satisfied. Second condition is the paid up share capital should not exceed 4 crore. Here the paid up share capital is 5 crore, which means this is not within the limit. The second limit of turnover is 40 crore, but here the turnover is 50 crore, which means again this is also not satisfied. So Star Private Limited is also not a small company. So three things to remember whenever you get a question on small company. One, a small company is a company other than public company. Two, paid up share capital should not exceed 4 crore rupees. Three, the turnover should not exceed 40 crore rupees. If all these three conditions are satisfied, then we call the company a small company, subject to the exceptions. Exceptions are in the situation of a holding company, subsidiary company, a holding company, subsidiary company, Section 8 company, and a company which has been incorporated under a special act. So this was with respect to a small company. So we have also understood a few examples on small company. Now, apart from this, there's one more point which we should know, and that is again in relation to the prescribed limits. So we've understood that the prescribed limits for paid up share capital is 4 crore rupees. And for the turnover, it is 40 crore rupees. Now, if the government wants to, the government can increase these limits from 4 crores and 40 crores to 10 crores and 100 crores respectively. So if the government wants to increase the limit, they can increase the limit of prescribed limit of paid up share capital from 4 crore rupees to a higher amount, not exceeding 10 crore rupees. And they can increase the limit of turnover, the prescribed limit of turnover from 40 crore rupees to 100 crore rupees. Now, just for your information, previously the limits were 2 crores and 20 crores. And even before that, the limits were different. But the government used this authority which they had, that they can increase the prescribed limits up to an amount of 10 crores for paid up share capital and up to an amount of 100 crores for the turnover, and they increase the limits. So earlier it was 2 crores and 20 crores, now it is 4 crores and 40 crores. And if the government feels so, they can further increase the limits, but the limit of paid up share capital can be increased only up to an amount of 10 crore rupees, and the limit of turnover can be increased up to an amount of 100 crore rupees. So if the government wants to, they can increase the prescribed limits for the paid up share capital and the turnover. So with this, we've now understood what a small company is.